जय गणपति देवा, प्रभु जय गणपति देवा। विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी,
विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी,
सुख संपत्ति देवा। ओम जय गणपति देवा। पार्वती पुत्र कहावो, शंकर सुत स्वामी,
प्रभु शंकर सुत स्वामी।
गजानंद। बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। All will stand as we join together and sing in the arati. Om Jai Ganapati Deva.
ओम जय गणपति देवा, प्रभु जय गणपति देवा। विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी, विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी, सुख संपत्ति देवा। ओम जय गणपति देवा, जय गणपति देवा। प्रभु जय गणपति देवा। विघ्न विनाश स्वामी, विघ्न विनाश स्वामी, सुख संपत्ति देवा। ओम जय गणपति देवा। पार्वती पुत्र कहावो, शंकर सुत स्वामी, स्वामी शंकर सुत स्वामी। गजानन गणनायक, गजानन गणनायक, भक्त नयन गामी। ओम जय गणपति देवा। रिद्धि सिद्धि के मालिक, मूषक शिवाय, प्रभु मूषक शिवाय। कर जोरे विनती करे, कर जोरे विनती करे, आनंद से भाई। ओम जय गणपति देवा। ओम जय गणपति देवा। प्रभु जय गणपति देवा। विघ्न विनाश स्वामी, विघ्न विनाश स्वामी, सुख संपत्ति देवा। ओम जय गणपति देवा। प्रथम आपको शुभ मंगल दाता, प्रभु शुभ मंगल दाता। सिद्धि होए सब कार्य, सिद्धि होए सब कार्य, दरिद्र जाता। ओम जय गणपति देवा। सुंदर सुंदला दुंद दुंदला, मस्तक पर चंदा, प्रभु मस्तक पर चंदा। कारज सिद्ध करावो, कारज सिद्ध करावो, पातो सब बंदा। ओम जय गणपति देवा। गणपति जी की आरती, जो कोई नर गावे, प्रभु जो कोई नर गावे। नारुत कह भावती दारुक कह भावती निश दिन सुख पाए। ओम जय गणपति देवा, ओम जय गणपति देवा, प्रभु जय गणपति देवा। विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी, विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी, सुख संपत्ति देवा। ओम जय गणपति देवा, ओम जय गणपति देवा, ओम जय गणपति देवा।
माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा। ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम। बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, जगत जननी श्री दुर्गा माता की जय। बोलो सनातन धर्म की जय। Devotees, you may kindly take your seats. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Narayanang Namakrityang Naram Chaiva Narutamam, Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Devotees, we all gathered here tonight to worship the Supreme Brahman in the form of Shri Ganesh. Before I commence reciting the Katha, we'd ask each and everyone to try to picture that beautiful form of Lord Ganesh in your mind as we chant these verses which are dedicated to his worship. Om Asumukashtai Kadantashta Kapilo Gajakarnaka Lambodarashta Vikato Vigananasho Vinayaka Dhumraketur Ganajaksho Balachandro Gajanana Dwadashaitani Namani Yapati Chando Yadapi Vidyarambi Vivahita Praveshe Nirgami Tatha Sangrami Sankati Chaiva Viganata Shanajayati Shuklam Varadaram Devam Shashivaranam Chaturbhujam Prasanavadanam Dhyaye Sarvavighnopashandaye Abhipsitartha Siddhyartha Pujito Yasurasurai Sarva Viganarastasmai Ganadipataye Nama Shivatane Varishtama Sarva Kalyana Murati Parishu Kamalahastam Shobitam Modakinaha Arun Kosumamala Vyalaya Gyopavitam Mama Hriday Nivasam Shri Ganesham Namami Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Sudya Mama Prabha Aviganam Kurumideva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Viganeshwarai Varadai Surapriyaya Lambodarai Sakalai Jagadvitai Nagananai Shruti Yagya Vibhushitaya Gauri Sutai Gananath Namo Namaste Bhaktartinashana Parayai Ganeshwaraya Sarveshwarai Shubhadai Sureshwarai Vidyadharai Vikatai Chavamanaya Bhakta Prasan Varadai Namo Namaste Namaste Brahma Rupaya Vishnu Rupaya Te Namah. Namaste Rudra Rupaya Kali Rupaya Te Namah. Vishwarupa Swarupaya Namaste Brahmacharine. Bhakti Priyaya Devaya Namastubhyam Vinayaka. Lambodharanamastubhyam Satatam Modaka Priya. Niraviganam Kuru Medeva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Avahanam Najanami Tavajanam. Pujamachaiva Najanami Kshamasveti Ganeshwara. Bolo Shri Ganeshanda Bhagavani Ki Jai. Of the 18 Puranas, the Ganesh Purana ranks about third or fourth on the list in terms of depth. What I have done this year is to prepare katha that deals mostly with the mantras of Ganesh. So although the katha comes from the Ganesh Purana, we have taken verses from different Puranas to incorporate the Ganesh katha. Before we begin tonight, let us join together in the chanting of the Ganesh Stotra. Yato nanta shaktirananta sajiva. Yato nirgunada pramiyad gunaste. Yato bhati sarva tridaveda bhinnam. Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama. Yatashvavira se jagata sarva vetus tatatam sano. Vishwagopta Tatendra Dayo Daitya Sannagha Manushya. Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama. Yato vannahi balo bhavurabo jalancha. Yatah sagarash chandrama vyoma vayu. Yata stavara jangama vriksha sandha. Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama. Yato danava Kinnarayaksha sannagra. Yatascharana varana swapadashta. Yatah pakshikita yato virugashta. Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama. Yato bodhera Jnananasho momoksho. Yate sampado bhakta sannatoshakasyo. Yato vignanasho yakaryana siddhi. Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama. Yata yatra putra sampadyo vanchitarto. Yato bhakti vigna tato nikarupa. Yata shoka moho yata kama eva. Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama. Yato nanda shakti sasesho babhova. Dharadharani Nikarupo chashata. Yato nikada Swargaloka hinana. Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama. Yato vedacho vikunnata manovi. Sadanitine tititayam grananati. Parabrahma rupam chedananda bhutam. Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama. Yato nanda shakti rananda sajiva. Yato nirgunada prameyad gunasti. Yato bhati sarva tridaveda bhinnam. Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama. Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama. Sada Dhamma Ganesham Namamo Bhajama. Bolo Shri Ganeshanda Bhagavani. We begin tonight Brigur Rajanam Prati Upadesh. The Ganesh Puran deals with one individual by the name of Raja Somakant. And all the problem and difficulties that he encountered. When he went into the forest, he was told to renounce the kingdom and go into the forest. And he met the great Brigu. And Brigu is the one who narrated the entire Ganesh Puran, including the Ganesh Gita. So when he met and started to divulge all the problems that he had, Brigu came up with the solution to his problems. We begin tonight. Sut Jiyovas. Tato Brigu Kshanamadatva Punastvam Prahabhupitam Atyantam Vivalodoka Vikshatat Purva Karamajam. And the first thing Brigu says to him, after listening to all the complaints that he had, he says, whatever you are experiencing now is because of your own karma. Nobody can do nothing to you. That is a foolishness that's spreading in Trinidad. Somebody do you something, somebody do you something. And the amount of chaos that created. Please let me explain something to you. If I get to do that, I'd have been real rich. You understand? People believe in this stupidness. He says this is a result of Tatapuravam Karamajam. In your previous life, in your past, you have done things. See, people think karma is, I don't know how they explain karma. But karma is a threefold thing. Sanchita karma. Sanchita karma makes you who you are now. That is Sanchita karma. Then you have Prarabdha karma. The things that you do now, that you pay for it now. And then you have Agami karma. That karma that goes into the karmic bank and waits for you when you die. And that determines whether you become liberated from the cycle of birth and death or you come back into the cycle of birth and death. That is what determines that. So once your Prarabdha karma and your Sanchita karma finish, that is the end of your life. That could happen in 1 minute. It could happen in 19 years. It could happen in 100 years. Recently, one of my clients celebrated 100th birthday. And I said, you must feel proud to celebrate 100 years. She said, but I have plenty of problems that go with it. I said, what problem you could have? She said, I buried my parents. I buried all my siblings. I buried children. I buried grandchildren. And if you could live with that, sure, live 100 years. If you could live with that, then you could live 100 years. But that is what you have to take. That goes with the turf. So he says, O king, Kwapapa ne karate tu, Kwayopaya katitamaya, Tatapyekam bravimi tvam, Upaya madhyanashanam. Whatever evil that you are experiencing now is your evil. That evil exists in you. Just as good qualities exist in you, evil also exists in you. He says, Kwapayo katitamaya. I will explain to you the remedy, the cure, how to do it, how to overcome this. Tatapyekam bravimi tvam. This evil that exists in you, upaya madhyanashanam, there must be a cure, there must be a way for you to destroy this evil. Now, he never said, I'm going to take it away from you. You have to do it yourself. Ganeshasya purana tvam shronyata yadi satavaram tadaiva mokshase dukkha sagaranatra sanchayaha. In my experience, O king, there is nothing you could compare the Ganesh Puran with. There is no comparison. And the Ganesh Puran has the answer. You have to search it. You have to research it. You find the cure and help yourself. So you give him the remedy. The remedy is the Ganesh Puran. But Sagara Natra Sanshaya, this ocean of misery that you are experiencing right now, without a doubt, Ganeshasya Puranatvam, the Ganesh Puran is the answer for that problem. Ityakvam ta Ganeshasya nama ashtashatama mutamam japtva jalam mintrayetva niseshya nipatim tada. Brigu, one of the great souls of the Sapta Rishis, started to chant the 108 names of Ganesh. And chanting the 108 names of Ganesh, he took water in the palm of his hand and he sprinkled that water on the king. He says, "O king, this will bring the evil out of you, but the rest is up to you." Having sprinkled this water, Vickramaditya Maharaj tanasaradrate laghu krishnasya praptada bhumo babidre takshana dadao. As soon as he sprinkled this water, from the body of the king came a very small form. Very small form. Very dark in color. And immediately it started to grow. Saptatala pramana budhyaditasyo bhayankara karala jebhyarataksho dirgavahu jatadharaha. And the bigger it grew, the evil, the more terrible it looked. What's the difference between a small heart attack and a big heart attack? What's the difference between a kind of diabetic and a diabetic? It had nothing called kind of diabetes. You believe that, you're really stupid. I had a small heart attack. The doctor said it was a small one. Really? The small one is the one that's kill you. Because that one is hit you in your sleep. So he's explaining to him that when you look at the evil that exists in you, the longer you live is the greater the evil that exists in you. It don't get smaller as you get older. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Mukhadura vamana agani chanakchapo yashonite netranam dhantata kurvan nadharakara iva praraha. Fire started to come from this form. The king closed his eyes. He was blinded by this fire. Aho lokya dudava sarve tadashram nivasana dashtarave darshadisha purayantam tamada bhuvam. Those who resided in the forest, they were not accustomed to seeing this kind of evil. They live a different lifestyle. People who spend their whole life in villages, they live a different life to somebody who live in the town. People who live in the town live a different lifestyle to somebody who lives in a city. But yet they all live in the same country. But the lifestyles are different. So they have never been exposed to this type of evil. And then Brigu took charge. And he says, Aprichatvam dvijakara tatasamaksha sapuryasham vidwanti tiko setvam namate kimavadaswami. He started to question this form. Tell me, how did you come about? How did you appear? What caused all of this? And he says, tell me, what do you hope to achieve by suppressing the life of a king? Give us a name And this form says to Brigu, Pratyavacha munimatamatu padi presto dvijena sa pranimatra sharirasyo namanaham papa purushavaha. I exist in all humans. Give you a little story. When Ravan got killed and the soul was traveling, the Ramayana describes how he was traveling. And a voice was talking to him and says, didn't I tell you Ram will kill you? Why didn't you listen? He says, who tell you Ravan dead? Ravan has not died. As long as people have greed, hatred, malice, envy, ego, Ravan will always be alive. You understand? He don't die. I exist in the human, and I am worshipped by the name of Papa Purush, the sinful human. I am the evil that men do. Twan mantra jalapatena nisrito rajadehata kshodaturo bhakshamihe dehi mahayam chachedata. And because of the effort you have made, O Brigu, you have forced me to come out in the open. And having come out in the open, I am now Kshudataro bhakshamihi. I am now filled with hunger. I am now filled with thirst. Dehi mahayam chachedaha. And I need to be satisfied. The more people do evil, the more I am happy. So I need to be fed now, and you are responsible for feeding me because you are the one who has brought me out. Bhakshayeshe muni lokan somakanta tavagrata vadameva satim ramya mitoni saditasya cha. And if you do not feed me, then together with this king, I will destroy everyone that lives in this forest. Because that is how evil survives. It has to keep doing evil. So you are the one who have to help me now. Tell me, how are you going to help me? Brigu started to smile. Na tatasto vahirambye tamuvacha munipunaha asmin rasali ralate berase vammakotire. Now that you have come out of the king, you will now follow my command, what I tell you to do. He said, look at this tree and find a spot, a hole, and go into that tree. But that tree that you enter, it must not have sap. It must be a dry tree. And go into there. Galitani chapatrani bhaksha swasamagyaya nachotvam bhasmasata kurvananitam me vachodhama. And the leaves that fall off of that tree, the dry leaves, that is what you must eat. And if you do not do that, then bhasmasat kuryam, I will burn you together with the tree. Who wants to die? Nobody wants to die. Don't nobody fool you. Everybody know they're going to die. You think you're really prepared for that? Nobody is prepared for it. Nobody. But when it comes, what you going to do? There's a beautiful verse in a song, in a movie. Go bring it for you one and read it for you. What it says. It says to meet again, we will meet. But right now, you need to let me go. Now is not the time to meet again. Now is the time to let me go. It says, Nabritam ne vachodhamam. Whatever I say to you, Brigu says, it is the truth. I wouldn't waste time and say things that is not true. And you cannot be treated good. You cannot patronize evil. People have this false belief that if you treat them good, they go change. Really? I remember some years ago, the president of this country pardoned some criminals. And the first thing they did when they come out, they overthrow the government. That's the first act that they did. The same day. They came out the Friday morning and Friday evening they overthrew the government. You cannot patronize evil. Evil has to be destroyed. Eti tanna muniyava tyante shoshkamasa brikshamas prishad basmasa dabvadavaksho dvijastat sarvashamatrataha. Brigu just touched the tree and it became a mountain of ashes. He burnt it out like nothing. He says, O king, Dvijastasparashamatrataha, evil has to be destroyed. You cannot want to be compassionate when it comes to evil. In the same way, when Arjuna made that foolish decision, place my chariot between both armies, Lord Krishna was no fool. He put the chariot right in front of Bhishma and Drona, Arjuna's grandfather and his guru. He said, this is what you want? Go ahead. And Arjuna panicked. And he made every excuse possible not to take part in that war. Until Lord Krishna tell him, you have only three choices. One, kill Bhishma, or Bhishma will kill you. Kill Drona, or Drona will kill you. And the third option you have is to sit down and watch this war take place with you or without you. You decide. There is nothing you could change. These are not people that you are looking at. These are the representatives of evil. Duryodhan was the embodiment of Kali Yuga. And you had to wipe him out. So whether you want to or not, it has to be done. I have given you the opportunity to earn fame and glory. Destroy them. The same way, do not show mercy and compassion to this, what you have seen, O king. What you see I do and burn up this and destroy this. Don't show compassion for that. That is evil. It has to be destroyed. Mune sandarashana dabhita tasmin bhasmalaniyaya tasmin vilokana muni somokanta punargasau. When everything was burnt, Brigu turns to Somakanta. O king, Purana Shravanadyati Gata Punyan Ripotamam Ayamaya Vachachyutataru Stotra Chotishtati Punaha. Listen to the glories of Lord Ganesh. Listen. Today I was listening to a program, a Ganesh Puran coming from some place. And all they could talk about, Ganesh have a big ears and a big belly. Right? None of which is true. None of which is true. Ganesh has no big belly, my friend. Ganesh is a warrior. And look at all the pictures of Sanatana Dharma with the warriors. They were all fit as a fiddle. But that is what you want to hear. You want to hear Kisa. This is not Kisa. He says by listening to the Ganesh Puran, Tatapunyan Repotamam, the good that you have done in your life so far, the benefits of that good will increase. Just by listening to it. He says, Ayamaya Vachyuta Taru. And how are you going to know, O king, that whatever you are doing is successful? You see, Kali Yuga is not the age where certain things could be done. But in the Dwapar Yuga, all kings had to perform something called the Ashwamedh Yagna. And when you read about the Ashwamedh Yagna, it's the most misunderstood thing I've ever heard. They say the fellows, when they finish, they should cut up a horse and eat it. Because ashra means horse. Yes, they used to cut up a horse, a living horse, chop it up in pieces. And they would feed it to the fire. The whole thing. And then whoever the king is will ask, how am I to know that this yajna was successful? And the horse would come out from the fire alive. Then you know the yajna was successful. So Somakant is asking the very question, that if I undertake what you ask me to do, how am I to know that I am going to be successful? And Brigu says to him, Strachota bishte yaha punaha. When this tree turned green, you will know you were successful. The same tree that we burned. When you see it sprout back, you're good to go. That I can help you with. I could tell you the mantra. Who's going to do the job for you? Me? You wait for that. You wait for Vikram to do the job for you. You have to do it yourself. You understand? And you will only be successful based on the effort that you put into it. Tavata sampadayata bhasmanenda dine dine bibidrasmin tato rajan nishapapastvam bhavishyasi. Day after day, you remain here. Do it. You come to me for advice, this is my advice to you. Remain in this ashes and you chant this mantras I have given you of Ganesh. You listen to the chanting of the Ganesh Puran. You see the beauty about it. This is an era where you don't have to explain. They knew the language. So it's easy to read. How long it will take you to read the whole Ramayana? Make a guess, you might guess right. A month? Go back and really read the Ramayana. 9 days. In 9 days' time, you can read the whole Ramayana, cover to cover. In a discussion recently, I was talking about the greatness of Tulsidas. Tulsidas wrote the whole Ramayana in 64 letters. Wait, what do they call it? The Prashnavali. 64 letters he wrote in a box, in a square. It's called the Prashnavali. And that is the whole Ramayana. Every chaupa is written there. You have to know how to check it. That he didn't tell nobody what to do. Anytime you open a Ramayana, go buy a Ramayana. English one too, you go see it. In the back, you go see a page with a square with 64 letters in it. That is called the Prashnavali. And if you know how to check it, you'll find every single chaupai written in that little square. Now, to do that, you have to be a genius. You can't be a fool and do that. You have to be a genius. The one thing that Tulsidas was criticized for, his inability to read, to write, and to understand Sanskrit. That they criticized him for. Who criticized him? The Pandits of Banaras. Up till today, Banaras is the home of Sanskrit. It is the home of literature. It is the home of divine study. People who are multi-millionaires in India just leave everything when they get old and go Banaras and sit down by the river and hope they're dead there. That is how much faith they have in that place. So that is what they criticized Tulsidas for. That he couldn't read Sanskrit, he couldn't understand Sanskrit, nor could he write it. And Tulsidas was a fellow never take them thing lightly. And only one thing he wrote in Sanskrit in the whole Ramayana. One thing he wrote. 8 verses. That is called the Rudra Ashtakam. Namami Shamishan Nirvana Rupam. That is the verse he wrote. One of the nights we will do it. And that is the night I will explain to you the genius that Tulsidas was when he wrote that. So we continue. Stay here, king. Believe what I tell you. And strochato bishtato punaha. And that tree will grow back. I promise you it will grow back. Put your faith in what I say to you. Put your belief in what I say to you. You understand? Which place in the world does have the most prayers? You have any idea? No, look, can't guess right. Which part does have the most prayers? Hospital. Hospital have the most prayers. Let your daughter go in the hospital and see what prayers you go say. You say prayers you even know. Anything people tell you to do, you will do it. Why? Not because you want to pray. You're praying because of the fear of the unknown. The fear that you have. What could happen? That fear is the fear that came from Raja Somakan. So his body is now free from fear. He has now to develop Tavata Sampada Yasmin. He has to now develop the love and the faith that it needs. You don't have the fear again. So replace the fear with love, devotion. Tavata Sampadaya Tatar Basma Seva Dine Dine Bibidrasmin Tato Rajan Nishapapam Bhavishyasi. And when this tree grows back, O king, then you would have accomplished what you set about to do. What did he set about to do? To get back the kingdom? He had passed that age. So the kingdom was of no use to him again. He passed the age of being a king. He set about to find peace within himself. That inner peace. And that is something everybody have to do before they die. Find that inner peace in you. If you don't find it, God help you when you leave here. You understand? Find that inner peace. Raja Uvach, the king says, Ganeshasya Puranatam Yanadashtanam Chaiva Shrutam Kotratallabate Brahman Vyakurata Tasya Vamune. I have never heard of a text called the Ganesh Puran. That is your first step of learning. There's a line that they say, a man who asks questions is a fool for 5 minutes. And a man who asks no questions is a fool for life. You stupid for life. Don't let nobody fool you. You could only appear smart in front of fools. He says, I have never heard of this text that you are talking about. What is the Ganesh Puran? Kutrata labhyate Brahman. Tell me, who composed this? Who has written this? Vyakurta tasya vamuni. How was it revealed? By whom? To whom? For what purpose? Munirovaj. Brahmana katitama purava veda vyasa yadimate vyasaccha viditam sahayam puranam apapanashanam. Brahma is the one who revealed the Ganesh Puran to Ved Vyas. Ved Vyas is the one who put it in writing. Having put it in writing, the reason was to destroy the evil that exists in people. That is what the Ganesh Puran is for. Ahamatapi pravachami tirtasnanam samachara shrochaye puranamiti chasankalpa kurusobrata. I am one of the fortunate ones, O king, in that I know the Ganesh Puran. It was revealed to me. This is why when you read in all the scriptures and they talk about the Saptarishis, Brigu's name is predominant. Always, in every cycle, one of the Saptarishis is Brigu. Bashish is not one in all the yuga. Jamdagni is not one in all the yuga, but Brigu is one. He is the one who transmits the knowledge of the Ganesh Puran. I say to you, O king, Tirtha Snanam Samacharaha. Go to the ocean, go to the river, take a bath, purify yourself. And having done that samachara, take that vow that yes, I am going to listen to this. The most complicated things in the Ganesh Puran is the simplest thing that nobody knows why we do it. You used to do Bhagavatam when you was young, right? This? When they decorate the place where the puja used to take place, what they used to hang there? Mango leaf. Why? Forget the fruits and things. Fruits and things is just, we had a way we used to do it. We know we're going to get a stupid fruit, that's it now. We always know that. So below that stupid fruit, we either put the biggest green coconut we could find, and within 7 days, that stem going to dry. And put his pira right below it, and tell him that spot is yours. Right? Those were the obvious things. We hang up pineapple, we hang up bale, apple, grapes, all kind of things. Mango leaf. Why mango leaf? Of all the leaves in Sanatana Dharma, why mango leaf? Of all the grass, if we take it that Ganesh is an elephant, then he eats grass. Right? Why do grass and no other grass? There must be a reason for it. Tomorrow we could deal with them 2 leaves. Why they were used? What is the benefit of using it? But now, we in the terrible age, we are in the age of plastic. Everything is plastic. The murti is plastic too. You understand? The deer is plastic. I have a bulb in it. Everything is plastic. You understand? The deterioration of the age is what caused it. Because it will be embarrassing, says, that if a multi-millionaire in Trinidad sit down to do a yag home in his house, and he hang up mango leaf from his place, they go say, damn man, so much money he have and he real cheap boy. You understand? They don't know why you do it. So tomorrow we will deal with why you use those things. So to watch. Brigona no dvitashnatva brigotiratai tiveshrute somakanto modayukta satat sankalpamacharat. Now, brigo no ditaha. The word no ditaha means I am not just asking you to do something. I am encouraging you to do it. So that is what Brigo was doing to him, encouraging him. Yes, king, do it. The same way that people could encourage you to do evil, in the same way, they could encourage you to do good. So I am encouraging you, Snatwa, take this bath. Where? Brigo Tirat. There is a place called Brigo Tirat that was created by Brigo. He says, you go there. And when you go there and you take that bath, Vishrute, from the time you come out of the water, you will feel different. People who have gone to India, South India, between India and Sri Lanka, there's a big stone there that is floating in water. If you put your hand in the water and hit the stone, or press it on the stone just go down in the water. And then it will float back up and come. How that happen? You understand? How that happened? That in itself is a miracle. Just to see that. The same way, that joy that you get, Somakanta Murda Yukta, Sankalpava Charat. And Somakant, when he came out of that water, he says to Brigu, Ganeshasya Puranaya Tatreshyodyabritayaham Sankalpamatritu Krite Babau Raja Niramayaha. From this moment, I would listen to this Ganesh Puran. As soon as he made that vow that yes, I am going to start immediately, the physical sickness that he had what they call leprosy. Immediately that stopped. Just by deciding to do the right thing. Brigu prasaddanirata Krimekshadve srijajitaha Grihidvatam brigogaya Dvasmitam harashitam nripam. And how did that success come about? Because of the favor of Brigu. No good person in this world wants to see people suffering and leave them. No good person going to do that. It says, Brigu, Tanani Raktaha. The color of his skin had changed. He became free. Krimikshata Visrijataha. Worms were eating his skin. It stopped immediately. Brigu, when he looked at him, he saw a smile on the king's face. And he says to him, Upavishyasanesiye dapayatasya chadanam Upavishto vavashetam divyakantiranitopamaha. Brigu offered him a seat. He says, King, sit down. And when he sat down and he looked at Brigu, he saw something different. Not the same person. He saw the divine in him. And for the first time in the Ganesh Puran, in the 13th Adhyaya of the Ganesh Puran, I've said this many years ago, when Ved Vyas was writing the Gita, not the Mahabharata, the Gita in the Mahabharata. When he was writing the Gita, it's only then he became tired. And when he became tired, he wrote in a different style. The same thing happens in the Ganesh Puran, where Raja Uvaj, Bhutva prasadat sakala garinta Sannakalpa matri nagata vyatami Acharya bhut sakalam vadasva Puranamita dviradananasya. Through your grace, O King, O Brigu, through your grace, through your blessings, I am in a position where I am seeing before it happened that my life is going to change. See, you ever had problem with your children that you're afraid they're dead? You never had that problem yet? But you start to live yet. Thank God you don't have it yet. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there already. Not once. Been there more than once. Which one? All. It's a frightening thing. But you know what? You have to have faith in what you know. If my son have to write exam in England, he will call Trinidad and say, oh, you pray for me. I say, so what the hell we train you for? Pray for yourself. He said, no. All you do it now. When all you do it, that does get through. You understand? That is what people don't understand. A woman is the strangest creature that God made. She will carry a child in a womb for 9 months. Right? And then she will hold that child in her arms for 4 years. She don't really put it down, so. Don't let nobody fool you. When she will run away from work for 4 years just to hold that child. And then, the child that lives in the womb for 9 months and lives in the arms of the mother for 4 years, where does he live after that? He lives in the heart of the parents for the rest of their life. And the child never knows that. He doesn't know that. He doesn't understand that until he becomes a parent and the cycle repeats itself. So 9 by 4 for the rest of your life. So I ask people a simple question. When your child died, when do you forget? Never forget. I remember the night before my mother died. My niece come and tell me my mother said call the doctor. The doctor come and check you out. He said nothing wrong with she. And my niece asked me a question that nobody knew. Whose name is Aditya? I said, Aditya, where you get that from? Say, Ma asking for him. Aditya died in 1958. I am telling you about 2011. When you're going to forget? At the time of death, the only person she remembered was her child that died in 1958. So you'll never forget. As long as you live. That is why parents, children, does live in their heart as long as the parents are alive. The day your parents die, then you become an orphan. When one dies, you become half an orphan. Half an orphan is not a nice life. To be a full orphan is a worse life than half. But you know what? It's inevitable. That is what Krishna told Arjuna on the battlefield. This is inevitable. You cannot, nothing could prevent it, not even I could prevent it. At the end of that war, when Gandhari was talking to Krishna one-on-one, he says, I know who you are. You can't fool me. You could fool this blind king, but you cannot fool me. I know who you are. Why didn't you prevent this war? And he says, nobody could prevent it. And she asked to hug Krishna. And Krishna said, no. If you want to hug somebody, hug a beam. And when she go to hug beam, Krishna pulled beam away. He said, don't let she hug you. She will kill you. The power that exists in the arms of that lady will kill you. And they put an iron post in front of her and she shattered it. The pent-up anger that she had for so long, it has to come out. You understand? That's why I tell people, children, fight with your father any day you're ready. Fight him down to the end. But the day you pick a fight with your mother, you're dead. You can't win that war, my friend. Don't fight that battle. You will not win. Because that is the one who prays for you your whole life. Fathers don't pray for the children their whole life. They pray for them when they're sick. When they're healthy, when they're good, mothers pray for them all the time. That is why Pitamahasya Jagato Mata Dhata Pitamaha. Of all the gods that exist in the world, mother is the first god. Pitamaha, father is the next god. Then the next god is grandfather. And then you graduate from the guru. Then you Ishtadev, and then the real boss. But mother first. If you don't have that, you're in trouble. Yesterday, my daughter and I were discussing, if I die tomorrow, what's going to happen? I said, well, let me hear your plans. Right? Where think I'm going to tell my daughter, shut up, I ain't go dead? If you really believe I died dotish, I'm not that dotish. I said, come, let me hear your plan. She said, well, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this. I said, that's it, don't do it. That's the correct thing. What people go say, I go be dead, I won't hear you. I ain't gonna hear what you think. You understand? Don't share nothing in my house when I dead. Anybody who come and say they want a cup of water to drink, let it go by a standpipe and drink it. Not in my place. Do not light my stove. You understand? It's a death. Treat it with that respect. One of the things my family accused me of, they say I'm mad. Every day I just go on YouTube and watch a funeral. Sometimes I'm lucky, I see 2, 3. Right? And what you see is a fete, is a music truck, is a bacchanal, tassa. See, all the things that wrong with funeral, that there. That is the kata we will do next week, Friday night. And you'll understand why you don't do them. We're making a mockery out of everything. Under the pretense that these sanat. Now I see a new trend. Even the pundit and interpret. Because they are allowing daughter, granddaughter, everybody to do rites and rituals. Yes, they could do it, but let them shave their head. It's not a fashion show. They have to shave their head too. You understand? If they don't want to shave it, pull your tail and go one side. That's my mother. You can't tell me what to do. I say, that you correct with. But I always have vex money in my pocket. Taxi, drop me home. You get a pundit who like that stupidness just like you. The scriptures are there. Go home. Everybody have a Gita in the house. Pick up the Gita, read chapter 16, verse 24. You check it, you can see. Chapter 16, verse 24. See what I tell you. Bhutva prasadat sakala garinta sankalpa matri nagata vyatami acharya bhut sakalam vadaswa puranametad dviradananasya. Dviradan is the name of Ganesh. This text that you are talking about, it talks about, I want you to explain the entire Ganesh Puran. Not piece, the entire thing from beginning to end. And Briguruvaj. You find it? Wait, say, let the scriptures be your guide. Let it tell you what to do and what not to do. And then you decide where you want. Shranashvabhito bhutva tat puranam vadam yaham ananta punya nirachetai yasya shravana gocharaha. Listen carefully, O king. Make yourself comfortable. That is what we do in Sanatana Dharma. In this 21st century, there are certain mandirs in America, if you go, winter or no winter, you sit down on the ground, you know. If you can't sit down on the ground, they tell you, bye-bye. When you go downstairs to eat in the Ganesh Mandir in Flushing, it do him have sponge on the floor, sit down on cold concrete. Doctor, lawyer, engineer, everybody sit down on the cold concrete on the ground and eat. Put a leaf in front of you and you eat on the ground. They make care who you is. We give people comfort. In Trinidad, we put air conditioning in the Mandir too. We make people real comfortable. You understand? That is what he says. Be very comfortable with what you're going to do. And when you are comfortable, I will recite this Ganesh Puran. It says, Ananta punya nirche yasya shravana gochara. Only when the good that you have done in the past is awakened in you, only then you get the opportunity to listen to the merits of the Ganesh Puran. Matirota padyate punsa nanyata papakarinam yasya karanamatrena sapta janamajitanyapi. There is no other way, O king. By listening to this Ganesh Puran, all the wrong that you have done in your life for 7 generations, the Ganesh Puran wipes it out. This is why we tell people, when you do Bhagavad when you are alive. Because the person who benefits from doing the Bhagavad is you, your parents, your grandparents, your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren. 7 generations benefit from me. 3 before you, 3 after you, and you. That is what the Bhagavad is for. 7 generations. every sin that you have committed will be wiped out. Lagoshun kardastulani papanesha mahanyapi takshana dvilayamayanti Ganeshasya prasadataha. Through the grace of Lord Ganesh, Brigu not going to take away that. That is for God to do. Lord Ganesh will destroy all of these things. That is why one of the major names that Ganesh is worshipped by is Vignaharta. Ganesh only has 2 names. We say he have 108. We say he have 1,000 names. But he only has 2. Ganapati and Vignashak. That's the only 2 names he have. He is the master and the remover. Everything else is a part of that. Every other name is a part of those 2 names. He is the master. Nobody could decide otherwise. And he is the remover. Test it and see. Test it and see how good it is. All are destroyed immediately. Takshana, immediately. Abhyayasya prameyasva nirgunasva nirakrite manovaga nirupyasya kevalananda rupinaha. Lord Ganesh is immeasurable. There is no beginning, there is no end. You can't explain that. Says I have read 15 out of the 18 Puranas. 15. 3 I ain't read yet. Because they haven't published it yet for me to read. And only in one I found a verse that I liked. After reading all, one verse. In the Ganesh Puran. In the end of the Ganesh Puran, there is a verse that tells you that those who read this entire book, those who write this entire book, when they die, there is no need to do shaving, bandara, shrad, nothing. They already do that. That is me. I learned upon the Ganesh Puran this week on. He said, there's a good book. You want to borrow it? I said, carry it. I said, before you carry it, there's one thing you need to know. It have no picture in the book. He said, what do you mean by that? I said, I know what you're going to do. You're going to play picture for picture because you can't read one verse in that book. You can't read it. But your ego make you want it. So I'll lend it to you. Carry it. You understand? People don't understand. This is so deep that the deeper you dive is the deeper it gets. This is why I say Tulsidas was a genius. When he called the Ramayana, he changed the name of Ramayana. Ramayana is a Sanskrit word developed by Valmiki. And he changed the name from Ramayana, you know. And he called it the Ramcharitramanas. The deeper you go, is the more deep it is. You cannot find the depth of this thing. And it's written in the most simple language. And yet you can't find the depth. The same way, Ganesh is that immeasurable. He is the imperishable. He is Niragunasya Nirakrite, without qualities. He has no sattvic, he has no rajasic, he has no tamasic. He is beyond that. He is without form. Ganesh has no form. The form that we have here is a form that we create that form. So we could focus on something. And that has caused one of the biggest competition in this country. Who could get the biggest multi? Why I have to buy a multi from India? Jajoda, the one in India cheaper than this one, eh? The one from India cheaper. I could have get that for $475. Right? And I make a profit. But I still choose to make it locally. You know why? That is mine. The dirt that make with is mine. You understand? The water that going in is Wasa own. That is mine. And if I die tomorrow morning and my daughter catch a vaps and want to take up my ashes from the creek and carry it in India, I don't know how I would beg God to make me come alive to strangle she. Throw me Flat Rock. I spend my whole life in Flat Rock. You understand? But we just put the Ganesh Murti, carry it and throw me right there. I spend my whole life there. Me need to go to India to find out that my father went to India and he prayed for all of we already. Cherish what you have. Whose word am I going to take? Teach, explain to me what is biodegradable. What is biodegradable? It gonna melt? That's what it means. So this won't melt? So this biodegradable too? This biodegradable too? And this is mine. I ain't going in no competition to buy no 40-foot Murti and 50-foot Murti. I have a view on that. If I say it from here, they're going to lock me up. You understand? Let me shut my mouth when it comes to that. This is a culture of who could outdo who. I never went for that. I have never gone for that. I've always said. And let me tell you something. All who claiming, making claims about Ganesh Puran in Trinidad and Ganesh Puran in Trinidad, there are only 5 pundits who could talk Ganesh Puran in Trinidad. Vickramaditya Maharaj, 1. Drona from Mahesh Road, 2. Mahesh Pandit from Avocat, 3. Jadunanan Mishra, 4. And Agyaram Maharaj, 5. You know Agyaram Maharaj, why? Live in Avocat. 4 of them dead. We were the only 5 pundits that did Ganesh Puran in Trinidad at the same time. 5 of you. Nobody else. One fella in Sandy Grande making some claim there. I want to meet him face to face and give you something to think about. Right? You could only fool stupid people. I talking about in the 70s, there were only 5 people that did Ganesh Puran in Trinidad. Vikram moved it from Woodland to Konopia. Move it from Konopia to Princeton. Move it from Princeton to San Fernando. Move it from San Fernando to New York. Move it from New York to Freeport. Next year, we're going back in Princeton. We fed up our Freeport already. The only thing we want from you next year, we want to come back in your pawn and submerge your Murti. Nice. So we had to look for no pawn again. We don't find we pawn. You understand what I'm saying? And everybody now is a Ganesh expert, and none can read the book. And here Brigu is saying, read the entire book. That we have done in San Fernando. Let nobody fool you. We read the entire Ganesh Puran from 2001 to 2023. Read the entire book. Now we start to pick and choose katha from it. So, yet Ganesh is nirupasya, without a form, and yet he is kevala nandarupinaha. His form is the embodiment of bliss. It's bliss. A pundit called me today. Tell me he buy 25 Ganesh Murti, little ones. I said, what is for, boy? He said, here na man, if I give 25 Sheila of mine, 1-1, and they go worship it for 25 days? I said, well, I hope so. I said, what will happen after that? He said, when I passed by them on the 6th, they had to give me an envelope. So you get 25 envelope for doing nothing. That is what this comes to. And it's sad. I don't care what you say. It's sad. I tell one man to sponsor a night in the year, you want to hand me $40. I say, well, you ain't buying a cellophane bag to put parasad in. Keep that. You need that more than me. You understand? That is why we describe Ganesh as the embodiment of bliss. He will make it happen. Remember the conversation you and I had? What did I tell you? Nice. Yas Swarupama Vedo Brahmashana Jayasura Sahasravadano yasya mahimanam nachakshasam. Words cannot describe Ganesh. There are no words you could use to describe him. Even in your mind, you cannot find the thought to describe what Ganesh really is. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the devatas, Sahasravadano yasya mahimanam nachakshasam, they do not know what the real form of Ganesh is. They don't understand. Lord Shiva had said a line in the Ramayana to Parvati, not Parvati, to Sati. And that one line caused you to lose your life. Soy mama ishtadeva raghuvira. Ram is the God that I pray to. And that caused you to commit suicide. She couldn't fathom. If Shiva is worshipped as God, how Shiva could say that Ram is God. Ram is a child. One line. So Imama Ishtadev, you know where that line is, right? So second Bishram, Balkan. That is my personal God, my Ishtadev. What Brigu is saying, take that personal God of mine and make it your personal God. And when you do that, Yavara dveshata vadapi prakyata rajasatama maya yata shrutama puravam tata puranam cha punyadam. Seshanag, who has 1,000 mouths, if he sings the glory of Ganesh with 1,000 mouths, he cannot explain it. Not even with 1,000 mouths. He says, O king, I have listened to this Ganesh Puran from Vyasji himself, and I am telling you, you are ready for the blessings yet. You can't handle this. You think this is simple as well. You understand? You think it's simple. This is not simple. What Ganesh represents, Atindriya Jnanavato Vyasa Chamitate Dasa Agya Vidvansa Shokarato Daksha Shoshra Mudagalat. Ganesh represents immeasurable energy. I have never been to India. I have no desire to go to India. But a lot of people who I know went to India say every vehicle they sit on in, right in front of the driver face have a Ganesh Murti. And if he pass in a place have flowers, he go look around and see the nobody, and he go and thief one, and he put it by the Ganesh Murti, and he drive off again. Why? Ite hano Hanuman Murti, ite hano Vishnu Murti, ite hano Krishna Murti, only Ganesh. Why? That is the impact, the energy that creates in the mind of a nation. That is the energy. He says the knowledge of Ganesh, Atindriya Jnanavato, is knowledge of yourself. It's not knowledge about God. It's knowledge about you. Really simply means that Ganesh is really you finding you. That is Ganesh. You find yourself. That is what Ganesh is. Just as Daksha, when his yagya, Agya Vidvansa Shokarata, when his yagya was destroyed, Daksha Shoshvat Mudgala. Mudgal explained the Ganesh Puran to him, to Daksha. The Ganesh Puran was first explained by Mudgal to Daksha when Shiva mashed up the place. Shiva go in the foreigner house and beat up everybody in a boy. That is a man of my heart. You get a chance to go in your father's house and beat him up, take it with pride. You understand? He mashed up the whole yagya. Why? In that yagya, there was no worship of Shiva and there was no worship of Lord Vishnu. And Lord Shiva says, if you could forget me, I just son-in-law. But if you could disrespect Lord Vishnu, I will kill you. And he mashed up the place. The very yagya in which Sati threw herself in that kund and burned herself to death. You cannot disrespect things that are elder than you. You cannot disrespect things that know more than you. Don't do it. He says, Yasya Bhakti Hrida Rajan. only in that individual whose devotion to Ganesh is solid like rock. Ganesha Sarva Siddhade should listen to this Ganesh Puran. He says, Sa eva chutva shantiyam nakvabhyamana drishyate tare. Other than that, do not explain this to people. Do not explain it to them. It's sad. I have plenty pundits who just come to me and ask for copies of this. Plenty. I went to photocopy it and a pundit meet me right in the place copying. He said, wait, I say, Ganesh Puran. You look at it. Telling the fellow, he said, go make a copy for me too. I said, let me start over. He said, but that's what Vyas do. I said, no, Vyas didn't do that. Vyas make them sit down by him for years and he teaching them it. I am photocopying it to give you it. Sorry, you ain't deserve that. You understand? And why? The Abhiman is so great that even if I photocopy it and give it to you, you're not brave enough to say, when you're reading it, this is the work of Pandit Vikram. You're not even brave enough. You're not even grateful enough for that. And that is what ego is. That is what Abhiman is. It's one of the most beautiful lines I quoted a few nights ago in a wake. That when Ram went back to Ayodhya, in the Valmiki Ramayana, Kausalya says, you really killed Ravan? Right? And Ram says, Ravan? Lankesh, the king of Lanka? Tandava Stotra man, the man who writes the Tandava Stotra? He said, no, I didn't kill him. He said, who killed him? Abhiman. Ego. That is who killed Ravan, not me. I just pulled the trigger. But his ego killed him. You must appreciate. See, let me tell you something. I tell people that. I had one of the greatest guru ever walk this land. I tell people that. A man from Debe. My first guru disowned me. I always tell people that. I don't hide that. He disowned me. And thank God he disowned me. Because I'm talking about dotish just like each other. My real guru in Debe, it have nothing I asked that man to teach me that he never did. Nothing. He never said. He and my father was first cousins. And he never said to me, go home and ask your father. Never. When I wanted to learn the Gita, I went by him. And he took up a Gita and he opened it. And he put the finger there. He said, put your finger right here. Leave it closed. He said, don't move your finger. Take a taxi and go home. And when you reach home, open that book and read that. And if you could read it, come back. When I go home and I watch the page and I see where it was, I close the book. Can't read it. And when my father come from a Bhagavad, want to show him it, I say, read that for me. He said, you went by Gangadhar. He said, well, read it. I said, but I can't read it. He said, well, then remain dumb all the days of your life. Break it up. That's the only advice my father ever gave me. Break it up. Says I check every letter. Then divide it in half. Divide the half in quarter. And in 2 days' time, I figure it out. I gone back down the way, you know. He said, so long it take you. That's the first thing he greet me with. It take you so long to figure 7, 8, 11, and 9. I could have slapped him if he wasn't my guru, you know. You could have told me that up front. You understand? Break it up. You understand? He teach you everything. He never had that Abhiman in him. I don't know with the rest of Chela if he had it. But he never had it with me. You understand? And I am grateful for that. He's the first person I offer water to in Vickramaditya in front of my parents. The name I just called first. I don't want to tell nobody that. That is my personal business. For what he unraveled for me.
So we will chant the 108 names of Ganesh. And we will do the Havan with the 108. Ready, boss? Om Gajananaye Namaha Swaha. Om Ganatakshaye Namaha Swaha. विनायकाय नमः स्वाहा ओम द्वैमातुराय नमः स्वाहा ओम सुमुखाय नमः स्वाहा ओम प्रमुखाय नमः स्वाहा ओम सनमुखाय नमः स्वाहा ओम कृतिने नमः स्वाहा ओम ज्ञानदीपाय नमः स्वाहा ओम सुखनिधये नमः स्वाहा ओम सुरारिभिने नमः स्वाहा ओम सुरादक्षाय नमः स्वाहा ओम महागणपतये नमः स्वाहा ओम मान्याय नमः स्वाहा ओम महान महानाय नमः स्वाहा ओम मृदात्मजाय नमः स्वाहा ओम पुराणाय नमः स्वाहा ओम पुरुषाय नमः स्वाहा ओम भूषणे नमः स्वाहा ओम पुष्कारिणे नमः स्वाहा ओम पुण्याकृते नमः स्वाहा ओम अग्रगणन्याय नमः स्वाहा ओम अग्रपूजाय नमः स्वाहा ओम अग्रगानिने नमः स्वाहा ओम मंत्रकृते नमः स्वाहा ओम चामिकरप्रभाय नमः स्वाहा ओम सर्वस्मै नमः स्वाहा ओम सर्वोपाध्याय नमः स्वाहा ओम सर्वकर्त्रे नमः स्वाहा ओम सर्वनेत्रे नमः स्वाहा ओम सर्वसिद्धप्रदाय नमः स्वाहा ओम सर्वसिद्धाय नमः स्वाहा ओम सर्ववन्द्याय नमः स्वाहा ओम महाकलाय नमः स्वाहा ओम महाबलाय नमः स्वाहा ओम हेरम्बाय नमः स्वाहा ओम लंबजठराय नमः स्वाहा ओम हस्वग्रीवाय नमः स्वाहा ओम महादेराय नमः स्वाहा ओम महोत्कटाय नमः स्वाहा ओम महावीराय नमः स्वाहा ओम मंत्रिणे नमः स्वाहा ओम मंगलदाय नमः स्वाहा ओम प्रमदाचाय नमः स्वाहा ओम प्राज्ञाय नमः स्वाहा ओम प्रमोदाय नमः स्वाहा ओम मोदकप्रियाय नमः स्वाहा ओम धृतिमते नमः स्वाहा ओम मतिमते नमः स्वाहा ओम कामिने नमः स्वाहा ओम कपितप्रियाय नमः स्वाहा ओम ब्रह्मचारिणे नमः स्वाहा ओम ब्रह्मरूपिणे नमः स्वाहा ओम ब्रह्मविदे नमः स्वाहा ओम ब्रह्मवंदिताय नमः स्वाहा ओम जिष्णवे नमः स्वाहा ओम विष्णुप्रियाय नमः स्वाहा ओम भक्तजीविताय नमः स्वाहा ओम जितमन्यताय नमः स्वाहा ओम ऐश्वर्यदाय नमः स्वाहा ओम गुहजजाय नमः स्वाहा ओम सिद्धिसेविताय नमः स्वाहा ओम विघ्नकर्त्रे नमः स्वाहा ओम विघ्नहर्त्रे नमः स्वाहा ओम विश्वनेत्रे नमः स्वाहा ओम विराजे नमः स्वाहा ओम स्वराज नमः स्वाहा ओम श्रीपतये नमः स्वाहा ओम वाक्यपतये नमः स्वाहा ओम श्रीमते नमः स्वाहा ओम श्रृंगकारिणे नमः स्वाहा ओम श्रितवत्सलाय नमः स्वाहा ओम शिवप्रियाय नमः स्वाहा ओम शीघ्रकारिणे नमः स्वाहा ओम शाश्वताय नमः स्वाहा ओम शिवानंदाय नमः स्वाहा ओम वल्लोदताय नमः स्वाहा ओम भक्तनिधे नमः स्वाहा ओम भावगम्याय नमः स्वाहा ओम भवत्मजाय नमः स्वाहा ओम महते नमः स्वाहा ओम मंगलदायिने नमः स्वाहा ओम महेशाय नमः स्वाहा ओम महिताय नमः स्वाहा ओम सत्यधर्मिणे नमः स्वाहा ओम सदाधराय नमः स्वाहा ओम सत्याय नमः स्वाहा ओम सत्यापराक्रमाय नमः स्वाहा ओम शुभांगगाय नमः स्वाहा ओम शुभभद्रनताय नमः स्वाहा ओम शुभदाय नमः स्वाहा ओम शुभविग्रहाय नमः स्वाहा ओम पंचकाकामिनेशन स्वाहा ओम पार्वती प्रियाय नंदनाय नमः स्वाहा ओम विश्वेश्वराय नमः स्वाहा ओम विबुधराजपदाय नमः स्वाहा ओम वीरवरग्राय गाय नमः स्वाहा ओम कुमार गुरुवंद्याय नमः स्वाहा ओम कुंजरासुरभंजनाय नमः स्वाहा ओम वल्लभा वल्लभाय नमः स्वाहा ओम वराभय कराम्बुजाय नमः स्वाहा ओम सुधाकलाशहस्ताय नमः स्वाहा ओम सुधाकरकलाधराय नमः स्वाहा ओम पंचहस्ताय नमः स्वाहा ओम प्रधानेशाय नमः स्वाहा ओम पुरातनाय नमः स्वाहा ओम वरसिद्धि विनायकाय नमः स्वाहा। बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। That is the 108.